Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by InTheMoneyStocks. Today is Wednesday, March 15, 2016. My name's Nick Santiago. Thank you all for tuning in this morning. All right, today is the highly anticipated day where the FOMC will make their interest rate policy decision. The Fed is expected to raise interest rates by 0.25% on the Fed funds, and we'll see how that plays out. We'll also see what happens in the press conference following the rate decision. So again, I believe the rate hike will come out around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then at 2:30 will be followed by a Janet Yellen press conference. We'll see if the Fed is dovish or if they're hawkish, and that will ultimately move a lot of different markets. But let's get into what's happening right now. We have the S&P 500 E-mini futures trading higher by about 5.25 points. Right now they're sitting at 23.71 3/4 per contract. All in all, we still are on the H contract. Friday we will move over to the M contract, which is the month of June. But right now futures are trading higher ahead of the opening bell, and we'll see how this plays out today. We have lots of upgrades and downgrades, not a lot of movement in the big names today ahead of the Fed, but we do have some upgrades and downgrades and a couple of earnings out here. So let's take a look. First one I'm going to start off with is Intel. I believe they were downgraded. As you know, Intel did buy out Mobileye early this week. Stock right now is trading at $34.90. There's really not a lot to do here. Closed at $35.18. If this stock by some chance gets down to around $33.30, I would be a buyer. So it doesn't have to really fall all that much, but if it got down to around $33.30, I would be a buyer in Intel. Let's take a look at Twinkies. Ticker symbol is TWNK. I should say Hostess, but nonetheless, stock is getting a pop after earnings. Closed at $15.93 last night. It is trading at $16.48 today. So good little pop there for Hostess Brands, better known as Twinkies. You may have eaten one of those once or twice. But right now the stock is trading up towards the 1650 level. Again, it is an uptrend. We'll give it a little slight upside bias. If you own it, trail the stop loss right now. If you don't own it, I would leave it alone at the moment. But if you own it, just trail the stop loss. Maybe it gets you to the 17 handle. There is a fair possibility of that happening today. Let's take a look at FTD. You all know the florist delivery service. Stock is trading at $21.60. Closed at $23.39. I believe this is on the back of earnings. So this stock is getting hit a little bit. I do see some support around the $22.20 level. Around the $18.95 level. That would be the only level for me. So keep that on the radar, $18.90, $18.95. That would be the only level that would interest me today for FTD. We do have another big upgrade here. It's in NFLX. NFLX is the ticker symbol here. Stock is trading at $144.25. Closed at $143.19. This is close to a new all-time high. So again, bullish pattern still in formation. No problems there. We'll see how it plays out. Let's take a look at Twitter. TWTR. Stock has been pounded into the ground. It looks like we have another person submitting, an early investor in Twitter. I believe Chris Saka is exiting the stock completely. Says he loves the service, hates the stock. So again, we'll see if that gives Twitter a little bit of a bottom. Anytime you see people capitulate that were early shareholders or major shareholders, that does usually give a sign of a bottom. Yesterday we saw Bill Ackman do it in VRX, and the stock actually held up pretty well. So again, we'll see how it plays out. But Twitter, I don't think there's a whole lot of downside from here. But nonetheless, if you take a look at the stock this morning, you'll see that it is trading at 15.25 or 15.24. But I just don't see a whole lot of downside from here. I really have a hard time actually seeing the stock get much below, 14.75, 14.80. I think that's its bottom at the moment. Let's take a look at Snapchat. SNAP. Rarely do I talk about IPOs, but this thing has really plunged. Right now it's sitting at $20.14. It was downgraded again today. Again, downgrades at lows are not impressive. If they wanted to downgrade this thing, they should have did it, right at the opening day. But right now, stock is beaten down pretty much into the 20 level. I know a lot of people are talking about $17. That's where David Tepper on TV, hedge fund manager, said that he would be a buyer of more of the stock. So we'll see if it trades down to that level. I'm not sure it gets down there right away. But either way, no play on Snapchat. It was downgraded today. Let's take a look at ESRX, which is Express Scripts. Stock right now is trading at 65.70. This was downgraded as well today. I think there's still a fair amount of support at $65. So keep that on the radar. We may look to play Express Scripts at $65 today. All right, let's move over to the gold market. Gold futures trading down $3.30. If you take a look at the GLD this morning, you'll see that's trading at 114.24. Now, gold is going to be volatile after the Fed. So if the Fed comes out and they raise a quarter point as expected, that may not be a big deal because that's already factored in. But if they come out and they say, hey, we're going to raise 3 or 4 more times but before the end of the year, that could hurt gold. If they say we're going to raise 2 more times, that could give gold a pop. So the Fed statement is really going to affect the price of gold. Let's take a look at gold miners this morning, GDX. You can see that's actually holding up pretty well. So this closed at 21.34. It's trading at 21.48. So gold, the metal is down. Gold miners are up slightly. Both will be in play once the Federal Reserve comes out with their interest rate policy statement at 2 o'clock. Crude oil is trading up today. You got spot crude trading up by 84 cents to $48.56 a barrel. If you take a look at the USO, it's up a little bit as well. It's trading at 10.31, closed at 10.19. Oil is getting a bounce, is saying off the API data. I don't believe it is the case. I think oil's getting a bounce from an oversold condition. It got a little bit stretched. We talked about this last night in the Daily Market Report video, part of the Research Center, and I said oil is just oversold, could get a short-term bounce. But ultimately, oil should go lower. So we'll see how that plays out, but oil is upticking today. As I just said, spot oil up about $83 a barrel, 83 cents a barrel to $48.54. So we'll see how that plays out, and we'll see where it goes. Again, if you want to trade alongside of us, take a 7-day free trial to the Intraday Stock Chat. You'll see everything that we are doing in there. With that being said, everybody, I want to wish you all a great trading day, and we will see you on the charts.